Why do careful, capable people knowingly choose a machine that leaves them more exposed? And why does danger still fail to explain the attraction? Picture someone leaving work with two keys in hand. One opens a car, enclosed, practical, weatherproof. The other starts a motorcycle. Less protection, less storage, more effort, and far less room for error. Yet on a clear evening, that second key can feel almost impossible to ignore. The attraction may not be danger, but danger remains part of the price. From the outside, motorcycle preference is easy to reduce to one word: reckless. The rider must enjoy risk, crave attention, or need an adrenaline rush. It is a clean explanation. It is also too simple. People ride for many reasons. Parking can be easier. The machine may cost less to operate in certain situations. Some value design, maintenance, community, or recreation. Others simply prefer the physical experience. The motorcycle is visible, but the motive behind it usually is not. The deeper difference begins with participation. A car can carry someone while reducing much of the physical work. A motorcycle asks for constant involvement. Balance, vision, hands, feet, body position, and judgment stay active. The machine responds quickly, and the rider feels the result of each decision almost immediately. That creates a powerful feedback loop. The rider gives an input. The motorcycle answers. Successful control produces a feeling of competence. Repetition strengthens that reward. Over time, the machine can become more than transportation. It can become evidence that the rider is capable, independent, and fully engaged with the task. This is why inconvenience does not always weaken the attraction. Weather, protective equipment, fatigue, storage, and exposure can make riding less practical. But difficulty can also make successful operation feel earned. The reward may come less from danger than from responsiveness. The motorcycle answers the rider so directly that attention becomes visible. A decision becomes movement. A mistake becomes immediate feedback. Improvement becomes something the rider can feel. Research on hazard perception supports part of this picture. Studies have found that people with motorcycle experience can perform better on certain tests, involving developing traffic hazards. In one United Kingdom comparison, riders detected hazards more effectively than matched drivers without motorcycle experience. That does not make riders universally more alert or more intelligent. It suggests something narrower and more useful. Experience with a demanding, exposed vehicle may train specific ways of scanning the road. Training also matters more than simple familiarity. In another United Kingdom study, advanced trained riders responded to hazards faster than novice and ordinarily experienced riders. The experienced group did not automatically outperform everyone else. Years on a motorcycle can build skill, but time alone does not guarantee better judgment. Practice can improve control. Structured learning may improve how that control is used. Then the research becomes more uncomfortable. In motorcycle-specific tasks, riders in one study selected faster options, overtook more, and accepted smaller gaps. But when similar people were tested in a car context, the difference did not transfer in the same way. The riders were not simply behaving like permanent thrill seekers in every vehicle. The context changed the behavior. A motorcycle changes what feels possible. It changes feedback, exposure, acceleration, visibility, and the rider's relationship with the road. The same person may therefore make different choices on a motorcycle than in a car, not because one hidden personality suddenly appears, but because the machine creates a different psychological environment. That distinction matters. A behavior can be risky without proving that the person has a universally reckless character. A Canadian study approached the stereotype from another direction. Riders described their own personalities, while car drivers described the personality of a typical motorcyclist. The drivers produced a more negative picture. That does not mean riders always see themselves accurately. It shows how quickly a visible machine can become a shortcut for judging the person using it. And stereotypes can strengthen identity. When outsiders repeatedly describe riders as irresponsible, antisocial, or irrational, some riders may become more attached to the category itself. The motorcycle gathers meaning through rituals, equipment, maintenance, shared language, and recognition from other riders. The person does not merely own a motorcycle. For some, being a rider becomes part of how they understand themselves. That identity can have real benefits. It can encourage training, preparation, protective equipment, mechanical knowledge, and responsibility toward other riders. Communities can pass down useful habits and make people feel recognized. But identity can also become defensive. A warning about riding may stop feeling like information about a behavior. It may begin to feel like an attack on the person. Advice can sound like disrespect. Caution can sound like weakness. The rider may no longer be defending one decision. The rider may feel compelled to defend an entire self-image. This is where the feedback loop becomes psychologically powerful. The motorcycle responds to skill. Skill produces competence. Competence becomes rewarding. Repetition turns that reward into identity. Then identity begins influencing how the rider interprets risk. The benefit is engagement. The shadow is that feeling capable can begin to feel the same as being protected. Those are not the same thing. A rider can become highly skilled at controlling a motorcycle. That skill cannot control every driver, road surface, object, weather change, mechanical failure, or impact. Control of the machine is real. Control of the entire environment is not. The physical difference is severe. According to the approved 2024 United States comparison, motorcyclists had almost 27 times the fatality rate per vehicle mile of passenger car occupants. That does not mean one rider is 27 times more likely to crash on one particular trip. It means that, across miles traveled, the consequences of motorcycle exposure are dramatically greater. Part of that difference comes from behavior. Part of it comes from the machine itself. A motorcycle does not provide the enclosed protective structure of a passenger car. Training and protective choices matter, but they do not remove that structural disadvantage. Familiarity can make the danger harder to feel. A person repeats the activity, survives, improves, and becomes more comfortable. The risk starts to feel ordinary. Real skill blends with perceived control, and warnings begin to sound as though they apply mainly to beginners or careless riders. This does not mean experienced riders are irrational. It means the mind often treats familiar risk differently from unfamiliar risk. What feels manageable can begin to feel smaller than it actually is. The healthiest motorcycle identity remains flexible. It can accept training, criticism, bad conditions, financial limits, family concerns, and the decision not to ride. It does not need to insult car drivers or treat caution as cowardice. It can also recognize costs beyond physical danger. Equipment, insurance, maintenance, storage, and training can challenge the idea that a motorcycle is always the cheaper choice. Time and worry can affect relationships. Enjoyment does not erase those costs, but the costs do not automatically make the enjoyment irrational. The warning sign is not enthusiasm. It is reduced flexibility. It appears when every limit feels insulting, when safety information must be dismissed, or when the motorcycle becomes the only reliable source of competence, belonging, or self-respect. That is not a diagnosis. It is a behavioral boundary between an identity someone carries and an identity that begins carrying them. Return to the two keys. One offers enclosure, capacity, and protection. The other offers a faster feedback loop between attention, action, and response. That loop can make a motorcycle deeply meaningful because it makes competence feel immediate. But it does not create a superior kind of person, and it does not cancel physical vulnerability. A motorcycle choice may reveal what someone values in a particular moment. It cannot reveal everything about who they are.